Yes folks, finally out for a cast. I was looking forward and waiting for a lovely spring day to show you what I'm going to show you today. And what I'm going to show you today is another tool of the PRFC tools. This tool is not from me. It is from Manni from New Jersey over on the East Coast. And I'm very proud to present that to you today. And if you go out and try and practice with that tool, I hope you get beamed away like I will today. I know that already. You get yourself to cast yourself into a form of trance where nothing else matters but the cast. And how that works, I show you that straight after the coolest intro on YouTube. It is time!
I don't care what time it is.
Have an effortless cast. Always have an effortless cast. Always have an effortless cast.
Climb up a banana here. Up the bananas. Let your
Hands up right now. I'd like you to cast with me.
Now very important is you use a fluff and not a fly for that type of practice. And let me tie you that fluff on and I'd show you and explain you my setup. What I'm using today is a clear intermediate line, and I do that deliberately so that you cannot see the line. Because my research shows that if you can't see the line, you can focus better on what happens during the cast, because your mind is not so preoccupied with watching that loop and wanting to see that perfect outcome. And that takes me back to that exercise. And the exercise goes like that. You take the rod in your hand, like this here, and then you attach to that rod a pendulum of some sort. And because I had nothing better, what I take here is this bolt that I have just looped into an orange bit of paracord that you can see that well. And then you take that pendulum under your hand, or you wrap the rest, you attach the rest of the pendulum. You can also experiment with the length here to your rod grip, and then you start casting. And the name of the game is not to look after what the line is doing. The name of the game is to control that pendulum. And when you move your casting arm, or when you make your casting movement, and I have to admit I haven't tried this exercise myself, and I'm going to cast myself into trance with this, and we're going to try this right now. And what is interesting in that method is that this pendulum mirrors or projects the movement of your casting arm. For example, if you would pull behind the body, that pendulum will show that in a sidewards movement instead of going back and forth. So the goal of this exercise is to control this pendulum here and still make casts without even knowing that you make casts. That's where the trance is coming from. And I hope you give this exercise a shot. So let's place the camera somewhere where we can see better and give it a throw. Yo, yo, yo. Oh, and I forgot that I only have an old cane rod that has been smashed already. See, there's a part shorter than the rest. And I'm gonna give that a throw too later on, because I never tried that yet. So that's something to check out in this episode as well. Okay, let's give the pendulum a throw. And I also know that this pendulum nomer is actually a misnomer, because there is already a cast called a pendulum cast, but well, let's call this maybe the PRFC pendulum, Manni's pendulum, I don't know. But let's giggity go and give it the throw. Yippity yo. told you this is the first time that I'm practicing with this exercise. And I think this pendulum needs to be a bit longer. That's why I only have it looped in here, and I can adjust that a little bit here. I wanted actually that I can touch the ground when I lift.
The problem with all instruction is that we get so overwhelmed with all of the details and things that we have to remember that we forget the essence of what we're doing. And the essence of flight casting is a very, very simple thing.
The last tip is I see people putting too much force into the rod. One, rod tip low, remove your slack, get your rod loaded, stop, stop, drop. The last tip is I see people putting too much force into the rod. Not necessary. You don't even have to hear the rod. It should be smooth, smooth, smooth.
To the water. I envy you people that are just beginning, because your moments are even going to be greater. They're going to be wonderful. You know, after the hard disciplines of learning how to fly cast, after you can get the ball in play, your learning is over now, my friend. For the rest of your life, it's going to be discovery. It's going to be fun. The problem with all instruction is that we get so overwhelmed with all of the details and things that we have to remember that we forget the essence of what we're doing. And the essence of flight casting is a very, very simple thing.
This is awesome. In the PRFC, there is no teacher, there's only self-learning. And this thing just got me beamed away and into learning mode within 3 casts. Dude, this is so simple. You gotta give this a throw. You gotta try this shit out. It's unbelievable. And I also seen Manni doing it with 2 things on, like a double pendulum. Might make one later. But for now I stick to the single one because it is unbelievable, this experience. Like when you experience for the first time that the cast will make itself by you controlling the system. And you don't have to worry about that thing. I don't know if you can see that, but if I play just at the moment, like okay, we have no wind and everything and all that shit, but not one cast did not turn over. I don't know if you see that. And I'm sure there's better stuff to make pendulums out of than this here. I know Manni uses a tennis ball, but I was gonna experiment with the length this here, and I'm only flowing and freestyling for you a little bit here, so you find something better for yourself. But I don't know if you can see that there, but I make one back cast, one forward cast, and that is probably over a 60-foot cast. Let's go. Oh, that was the pendulum hitting the stone. Still turned over nicely. Let me do another one where the pendulum doesn't hit the stone. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. No hauling, just a pendle. Let's walk out and see if it turned over. Running line. Aha, do you want to? Ah, no, we're not measuring casts here. Fuck that. But it's a long, long way down to the fly. It's a long, long way down to the fly, and she has turned over fairly good. So, check this out. Pendulum. Get in trance. Get high off your casting. It can be done. It's cheap, for free actually. And give me a couple more casts. Loving this shit already. And I'm regretting that I didn't try that out earlier.
So I go with a loop like this, and this goes in here. Right there. It can be here. I was thinking about putting it here.
And what the thing also does is, hard to see, eh? Metronome.
Oh, metronome.
A rhythm. Feeling and style with the new pendulum casting method out of the PRFC. Let's giggity go. Give it a thrickety throw. La 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 la. La la la. Oh, smooth like butter. This is the cast smoothener. Try this out, especially if you have fucking casting panic. If you don't know what casting panic is, look up my other videos. But this here, that will transform is the right word. That will transform your casting moves into pure pleasure. Woohoo! And it'll show you exactly if you're herky-jerky or not right and not good with your cast. There's one in the other direction here. There's a couple of trees. There's a lot of trees. No hauling this time. Rod tip down, pendle down, one back cast, one shoot. Let her run. Let the pendle do the job. Balanced. That makes your casting very balanced. And in case you have a jerky movement like this here, this pendulum will not move straight. It will start to turn or to twist in certain, you know what I mean? Whoa, what's this here? Oh, hoi! See that there? There was a twisting in the cable. I hope you see that well on the video later. But even if you're not seeing it, you can imagine how it is. Let's give me one more cast before we take the cane out. Insane in the cane. Oh, that wasn't a great one. Need another one? Give me another one. One more cast. Yeah, boy. I'm going off like a rocket, like Joe Schmucker Poppet. Hey, let's rock it and flock it and throw it and grow it. The sport of the Lord. Woohoo! Sorry for me for going crazy, but it's going to happen when you try this shit of the PRFC. You will get happy, crazy, and freak out and have fun casting. Not like this. Try to stop it here and follow all the protocol. Go out and fucking play. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what's happening. Whew. Now I take the very same line for a crack, put it on the cane rod. Let's giggity go. You never had any more fun fly casting than with these methods, I'm telling you. And that is the reason for that is there is no teacher and there are no
Hey teacher, leave us kids alone.
limits and boundaries. There was only play and the evaluation of that play. And once you do it right, your brain, the supercomputer, will do it by itself. It's the epiphany of stopping the overthink the cast.
The problem with all instruction is that we get so overwhelmed with all of the details and things that we have to remember that we forget the essence of what we're doing. And the essence of flight casting is a very, very simple thing.
It's just doing it. Now, let's... And if you're not making that experience for yourself, that absolute positive experience of letting go of all that stuff that puts pressure on your casting system.
The problem with all instruction is that we get so overwhelmed with all of the details and things that we have to remember that we forget the essence of what we're doing. And the essence of flight casting is a very, very simple thing.
You will notice immediately that your mind will take over and do it by itself. There is no other explanation for this, for me. And I personally, I love the cane, but what I don't like is the stupid little eyes there. And that rod, by the way, is already broken and has been fixed here. And I got that over given from an old angler who is not well anymore and wanted to pass it on. I hope he's doing okay. And it's very fickly to fiddle that through here, but while I do that, and my eyesight goes to fuck as well. So it does, don't know how that is with you. But I'm looking forward to using this rod here because the feeling of the cane is hard to beat. It's hard to beat. Not many people are able to use them well. Don't want to, because they are also a bit heavy and a bit tiresome. Oh, what a funky rod repair. Look at this here. Ring scheme. Irish rod repair job from some unknown angler. That'll do, that'll do, lad. Let's give that a throw too, without the pendulum and with the pendulum, one-handed and double-handed, because it is something like a switchety switch rod here. Oh, and I nearly slammed it there. What does it even say? Superb. Lee, Redditch, and Pershore or something. Reddit and Pershore. If you knows anything about this rod and where to get a new tip, let me know. They're correct. Let's gickety go and give it a thrickety throw. Now, I noticed already this line is fairly light for this rod. Yo, super interesting here. This line I have on here is, in my opinion, and for my taste, too light. Huh? I would have this rather with a bit more smack, but a good caster can adjust to that. And if you haven't learned that yet, it's important that you practice with different line weights and line configurations on your rod on another tool of the PRFC called the fixed line angle. But we have that on another day. For now, I put my pendulum on again and I just attach it to the arm here. That just touches the bottom. For now, as I say, this is the first time that I play with this thing, and it took me already into planet cast space. So we do it the double-handed way this time with the pendulum and a too light of a line, and see how we can handle this. Oh, not so bad. Oh, wow, holy crap. Hey, this is awesome, you know. Ay. Here the rod is losing its integrity. There's not a caster in the world who's casting with that shit equipment here. But this here, woohoo, Manni! Fair fucking play to you, boy. Awesome job. It's a mad thing of a thing here. A mad fool of a thing here, yeah. Holy fuck. Let's cast. Let's cast.
On metronome. On a metronome. He began each session with the same instruction. Casting is an art that is performed on a 4-count rhythm between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. If he had had his way, nobody who did not know how to catch a fish would be allowed to disgrace a fish by catching it.
Oh, fuck me. Well, folks, I guess that was the end of the cane session here. The old fix didn't stand my cool caster treatment. Didn't hold up. We tried to cast the tip only for a while, just for a crack. With the pendulum, of course. This stuff here, seeing stuff getting really hard tested and broke, for example, like, is something I miss seeing on this plastic YouTube fly fishing world in general. Like, so you're a lucky motherfucker that you found that channel, because only here shit like this is happening. Well, but that doesn't keep us from having a throw. We can do that with a tip alone, can we? Or can we not? By the way, if you want to develop your casting, your single hand casting really quick, the best way to do that is to get a very soft and a very short rod and cast with it, not a long and fast rod. Short and soft rods, they show the weak spots, the soft spots in your casting very obvious. This here is anything else but soft. It's very rigid, but it is very short. There's no doubt about that. So, woo! Let's throw this shit here. Oh! Give me more running line, lad. Oh, not bad, hey. But you need to haul there a little bit, I must say now. A little bit more running line. That's a mad fool of a thing, yeah. Mad fooling thing, yeah. So now let's try this again. What was the name of the dude in the old comics who is always laughing like this here? That's what it's like. That's what it's like trying this shit here. This crazy shit. as I say, this is only a little freestyle session, so. I'm sure you figure out something better than only this fucking bolt here. And only a rod tip that has just been broken off. No, that needs to be longer for that too. See that? Not bad, hey. You can also use heavier objects than this one here to train your arm muscles. And you also need to be careful to not whack that shit in your face if you do wanky, spanky stuff like I do here. Because that nearly happened. But that is a clear indicator that I pull in front of the body, because if that thing goes around and against me, there must have been a movement that was making something like this here. And that's why this tool here is so PRFC excellent and extravagant, because it mirrors your casting stroke. It projects your casting stroke downward a little bit, like an upside down metronome. I like that actually. The upside down metronome cast. The USD metronome cast, because the pendulum is already occupied. I don't know. Manni has to come up with something here. He's in the duty there. Let me give it one more cast. It's getting dark too. Oh. Lengthen this again. Hit myself there, but the cast went out good still. So practice, go out, have fun, enjoy PRFC tools, self-evaluating, self-learning, the autotelic approach. Give it a rattle, my naddle, and report, please, how that translated and transferred and transformed into your casting pleasure, skill set and enjoyment. Well, that was another cringe one, hey? I play on a little bit more with my rod tip here. Thank you very much for tuning in again. And excuse the cringiness of this shit, but I'm not here to look. These tools here are there to make you look good and not the instructor. That's what you have to understand here, and that's also why you want to go out and practice with these tools. Give it a throw, hey-o. Man, that was a session, hey, that nearly took it out of me, hey. That's awesome. Led, I thought I had to send you a little voice message because I was on the pendulum casting at the moment, the upside down metronome casting. Led, beamed away. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm a happy caster. We need to get that shit out so that people can go out and try that too. And I hope to follow your advice and mine too, if I recommend the pendulum. Thank you very much, brother. Awesome shit there. Whew, I had to get that out quickly because yeah. We also got a very other cool comment from a Silkline producer, Ian Moxon, but we talk about that in one of the following episodes. And thank you very much for watching again. Please do not forget. Yeah. We don't own the water owns us. It is time.
I don't care what time it is. Have an effortless cast. To always have an effortless cast. To always have an effortless
We're going to
cast.
climb up a banana here. Up the bananas. Let your
Hands up right now. I'd like you to cast with me.